What's cracking, yo? Welcome back to Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What a game. What a game. What a game. Wow. 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 Whew. There's a lot to unpack, and I don't even know if I'm going to unpack everything. Boy, you know, when you get back from a long vacation and you get home, long trip back, and you just take your suitcase and you just throw your suitcase in the room and lay out, and then you like live out of your instead of putting everything back in the drawer and hanging it up, you just kind of live out of your suitcase until things go in the washing machine, and then you put them back where they belong. I ain't even unpacking everything. Now listen. Obviously, Boston Celtics just forced Game 7 in an absolute thriller down the stretch, 104 to 103. Now, not too long ago, after, I'll say it like this. After Miami Heat went up 3-0, I said to myself, I was like, I think the Boston Celtics can still win this series. I really do. I think they're the better team. I just think they have to take their head out their ass. Kudos to Miami for doing what they was doing. Not saying they didn't have something to do with it, but I can tell when a team just doesn't show up at the end of the day, doesn't answer the call, doesn't answer the bell. Game 4 happened. Then I saw the Boston Celtics team that I have been used to seeing the last 2 years, more or less. And I was like, maybe they finally took their head out of their ass and realized that they are the better team. And I believe if I ever had any confidence in a team being down 3-0, this is the team that can do this, because they shouldn't have been down 3 games anyway. And they are more than capable of winning 3 straight games to force Game 7. And they're more than capable of winning 4 straight to win the series. I put out, after they went up 3-1, I put a video out on that very topic saying that I believe this is very much possible. Now, it was a soft, I said, I'm not saying they're going to win, but I really think they have a good opportunity, and I will put my money on it. It was a soft claim. It was a soft claim that the Celtics will pull this off. Though it's still not over, but I did say, if this goes to Game 6, all the pressure is going to be on Miami. Because after going down 3-0, everybody expects you to lose. Now you can almost play more freely and without the expectations, because now the expectations change. Everybody expects you to lose. Now the pressure is on Miami to a degree, especially if it gets to Game 6. Now Miami, the flip is script. I mean, the script has flipped. Miami does not want to be the first team in NBA history to lose a series after being up 3-0. Boy, has this whole thing changed around. All the pressure is on the Miami Heat, given how everything took place in the history of this series. And I said the winner of this game is going to win this series. You do not want to go back to Boston for Game 7. And we are going back to Boston in Game 7. This series is over. It's done, man. I cannot see Miami winning in Boston. But I think Boston's the better team, top to bottom. They don't even got Michael Brogdon right now. If they have Brogdon, hell, this game might even been that close, to be honest. But, you know, it's all hypotheticals. But they ain't it's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. I would be surprised if Miami went into Beantown and took a victory. But with that being said, this game was amazing. This was a good game. One of the best games I've seen in a long time. A long time, to be honest. And credit to the Miami Heat role players, or the Miami Heat non-stars / role players, for carrying this team in this series this far. Caleb Martin, Vincent, Struss, them boys. Because Butler largely and Bam Adebayo lately, especially lately, have not been good. Now, with that being said, this was a horrendous game for Bam all around, and Butler, it was more or less a horrendous game for most of the game up until the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter, and then the switch came on. He saw a shot go through. He hit big clutch buckets, getting to the free throw line. We all saw what happened. Got fouled on a 3-point attempt. Iced 3 big free throws to go up once. All they needed was one stop with about 3 seconds left. And you saw what happened. Marcus Smart shot like a fading shot off the catch, more or less. Halfway in, popped out. They didn't box out hard enough. And they got the tip in. White tipped it in. And looking at it live, I thought it was good. I was like, oh, buddy, that's good. He got that off before the buzzer went off. That was good. That was absolutely good. I saw that live. I was like, oh, we going to game 7. What a thrilling end to finish this off. To finish this game off. What a thrilling end. Hell of a game, man. Butler showed up just a little bit too late. Bam really didn't show up all. I'm telling you what, if Miami Heat lose this series, I promise you, Duncan Robinson, you know, when these fanatical people start sending death threats and emails and all this stuff for players for like missing very crucial buckets that were potentially game deciding, buckets. Duncan Robinson missed 2 huge threes with nobody around him all the time in the world. Probably too much time is what they say, right? All the time in the world. After he misses, I was like, bro, they're going to start sending death threats at Duncan Robinson after this. This dude's your best 3-point shooter. I'm not a Duncan Robinson fan. I'll be honest with you. Remember back to the bubble. Remember he was stroking that shot, all the way up into the finals in the bubble. And then the dude he was more or less a no-show. Ever since that, finals in the bubble, people thought Robinson would take the next step, man. Be something closer to a Klay Thompson. Not saying be Klay Thompson, but a very reliable, sharp shooter that could stay out on the floor and provide consistent 3-point shooting, more or less. But he never really got to that level. He's been largely a disappointment after the finals in the bubble. Duncan Robinson, not as reliable as people thought he would be, given the small sample size we saw leading up to that last finals run. But I'm not a Duncan Robinson fan, so I wasn't surprised when those shots didn't go down. I was like, he gonna clank both of these. Duncan Robinson is not that guy. However, kudos, man. Both teams fought hard, and like I said, Miami wouldn't even been in that game if it wasn't for like Vincent. Caleb Martin, them boys really held it down. Freaking Martin had like 15 big rebounds, bro. 21 points, 15 rebounds. Holding it down. Timely shots, energy, and they kept the team around more or less enough for Jimmy Butler to get it together and carry them in the final stretches, which Jimmy pretty much did. But it came down to not getting that last stop. Butler ended up with 24 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, shot 5 for 21 from the field. But y'all know me. Y'all been following me for a while. I'm not a big analytics guy, and I gotta watch the game, man. And yeah, Jimmy Butler was bad, but Jimmy Butler also finds other ways to impact the game if his scoring not going, and I really take that into consideration. He was getting rebounds, he was finding people. He was allowing some of these players to get more open shots than they would normally get. Things like that, playing sturdy defense. And at the end, when they needed him most, he did show up. It would have been nice if he, had it going earlier, but the rest of the team held it down. But that's not going to fly. If they go to Boston, Jimmy Butler is going to have a stellar performance, top to bottom. He is. Because especially on the road, you know how it is for these role players and non-star players. They're 50-50, man. They usually show up better at home. So Jimmy Butler and Bam are going to have to be the best versions of themselves in Beantown for Game 7 for Miami to have a chance, because this Boston, like I said, they have more star power, and top to bottom, they have a better team. That is why I felt confident that they would still win this series, regardless. Here we are going into Game 7, and like I said, the winner of this game wins the series. Boston. One thing I also said about this whole down 3-0, up 3-0 thing is that it's never happened, right? 115-0 in the history of the league. But probability. Eventually, a team is going to pull this off. Mathematically, that's just how it's going to work. Eventually. And now, the time is now. I believe we are going to see it happen. It's like it's only a matter of time. It's how probability works, man. It's how probability works. And if there was ever a time for them to get that finally that value, that 1-digit value on the other side of that 150, change that 0 to 1. If there's ever going to be a time, this is where it makes the most sense. A team that is legitimately better being down has no reason to be down 0-3, pulling their head out of their ass and rising to the challenge of fighting out of that hole. Here we are. Here we are. Big shout out to Jaylen Brown, man. There's been plenty of games where I'm like, I think Jaylen Brown should get more shot attempts. Like, I'm seeing his field goal percentage and how, accurate he is or efficient he is a lot. And I was like, he needs more shots. Get him 20 shots. If Tatum is taking 20, 25 shots, I want Jaylen Brown taking 20, 25 shots. Now, I'm not saying that Jaylen Brown is necessarily better than Jason Tatum. I don't care about that. I think they're closer than what people give him credit for. I think the gap between Tatum and Jaylen Brown is not as big as some people think it is. I do not. But get Brown is a good player, great player. Great player. He's an all-star. 26 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, timely buckets, timely rebounds, hustle plays, always attacking. Always attacking. Jason Tatum, 31 points, did most of his damage in the first half, but 5 assists, 11 rebounds, hit all 15 of his free throws. 0 for 8 from three-point land. Couldn't throw that ball in the ocean from the three-point land. Al Horford, huge mental mistake fouling Jimmy Butler down, a couple seconds left. That gave Miami the opportunity to go up, almost advancing to the finals. You can't make mistakes like that. So, you usually don't see Al Horford make mistakes like that. The savvy veteran. I was very surprised. Marcus Smart doing what Marcus Smart does normally, 21 points, you know what I mean? Rebounds, assists, big hustle plays, timely buckets. What a game. What a game. Miami had their chances, and when you look at it, they capitalized. Even through the open missed three-point shots for Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler put them in a position to make it to the finals. But you have to play every minute, every second. You have to box out until that light goes off. When that shot went up, every single player should have bolted to the basket to box out and secure the rebound or tap the ball out. Nobody should just be standing and looking as the shot fly. Bolt to the basket. Everybody. I want all 5 jerseys in the paint, bro. In the paint. All 5. You have to play every single second, millisecond. The play goes on, my friend. Shout out to the Celtics, man, because it was looking like a bit of a collapse, maybe for lack of a better word, but it was looking like Boston was really in a good position to put this thing away without it getting too close, and it ended up getting close. And I'm watching, I was like, man, I guess I was wrong. I guess they might not be able to pull this. After he shot those threes, now I said, oh, well, they got a timeout. They got 1 timeout, 2 timeouts, I think, Boston, and let's see what they can run out the timeout. And that was a tough shot by Marcus Smart, and it damn near went in. I thought it was going to, and a lot of those shots were happening for the Celtics, man. They were taking a lot of shots today, and they were going halfway in and then popping out. That happened a lot today for the Celtics. Give the trend of history, the pattern of history happened again. But that boy White was there, did not give up. Did not give up. Kept that ball alive and gave them an opportunity to go to Game 7 with a chance to go back to the NBA Finals. Though the Boston Celtics won the game, as a Celtics fan and as a player in that locker room, you're going to look at this game tape and you cannot be happy with your late game execution. And I very briefly touched on this earlier, but the reason why they were in the position that they were in, with 3 seconds left on the clock, is because they did not execute properly down the stretch those last couple minutes. I felt like, and I don't know if this is going to make sense to some of you, but hear me out. I felt like instead of trying to win the game down the stretch, they were just trying not to lose the game down the stretch. Instead of bringing the intensity, focusing, dialing in so that you execute properly as a team and as an individual, like, I'm taking this game, give me this, I'm taking this, I am winning this. They were just holding on for dear life and consciously trying not to make mistakes, and in doing so made mistakes and failed to execute appropriately. And at that point, you're getting in your own head too much. Just execute, play, bring the vigor, bring the heart, leave it out there. And in doing so, they actually kind of took their own momentum away. Slowed everything down too much. Lackadaisical, running their offense, walking the ball up the court, not keeping the pressure on the Miami Heat defense like they should have. At times, I would have liked to see the ball swing more, find the open man. But at times, I felt like individuals were probably taking harder shots than they needed to take. The execution was not there. They left the door open for Miami Heat. They left a crack, and the Heat just kept pushing that crack a little more till that door was wide open. And now look what we have. Now look what we have. I tell you. So if the Boston Celtics are fortunate enough to win Game 7 and move on to the NBA Finals to face the Denver Nuggets, they have to clean up that late game execution nonsense. They cannot have more situations like that because the Denver Nuggets aren't as offensively challenged as the Miami Heat, and they will expose you quickly, especially through that passing hub that is Nikola Jokic. But even if Game 7 is close, the Boston Celtics can't have mental errors like that offensively and defensively. Hell, Duncan Robinson was left wide open. And though I don't trust Duncan Robinson, he's still a three-point threat. He can't be left that wide open. Especially that first one. Nobody even ran out at him. All five Celtics players just sitting there looking. And maybe at that point they were like, well, he's already wide open, so we might as well just stare at him so that we create a situation where, he has too much time now. Duncan Robinson's in his own head, and he'll mess up his own three-point shot, which probably ended up happening anyway. When you have too much time, sometimes you have too much time. They say just let him go. He'll mess it up. He'll think too much about the shot, mess it up. I mean, either way, it all worked out for the Boston Celtics, and even though they won, they have to clean up those mistakes. They have to keep the pressure on in these pivotal moments of the game. Like I said, I just totally felt like they didn't take the game by the throat. It's like, this game is mine. We are going to win. And I think that's how they ended up in the position they were in those last couple minutes. Listen, the Garden is going to be loud. The Garden is going to be brimming with energy. They could probably kill the circuit breakers in the building, turn all the power off. And that crowd will feed the energy. All the lights will come on. All the electronics will start working. That's how much energy. It's going to be electric. Simply electric. Tell them, just save on your power bill. Kill the power. Let the crowd feed the building. It is going to be electric. It is going to be energy. It is going to be loud. History has a high probability of being made. A lot of people thought we would never, ever, ever see it happen, especially in our lifetime. And I was like, I don't know about that, man. Eventually, it's going to happen. Probability. And here's a scenario where it has presented itself. And here we are. I'm a Laker fan, and I should be just hating on the Celtics right now. But I am a fan of basketball, and I love great basketball. And I love to see series go long. I love Game 7s. Especially seeing a scenario like this. A team being up 3-0, a team being down 3-0. And watching this comeback unfold. I could not have asked for a better series. I could not have asked for a better storyline than this. This is what I've been waiting for. I'm going to be at Game 7. I'm calling off work. I'm going to have my popcorn ready. And may the best team win. But as somebody that likes seeing events happen, historical events happen, saying that I got a chance to witness this, even as a diehard Laker fan, I want to see history, even if it's the Boston Celtics, man. Even if it's the Boston Celtics. I would love to see history happen like this. Either way, may the best team win, and I'll be there watching. Here we are. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. I just had to make sure the Boston Celtics would pull their head out of their ass in Game 4, and they did. And I was like, I think they arrived. I think they have arrived. I saw what I needed to see. I think this has a real chance of happening. Call me nuts. Call me crazy. But even being down 0-3, I never thought Miami was the better team than the Celtics. Never. They just needed to wake them up. Here they are. Dude, that was an amazing game, man. Whew. Man, I could imagine how those Miami Heat fans were, sitting or standing up out of their seats in that arena. Pins and needles with 3 seconds left. 3 seconds away from going to the NBA Finals. I can't imagine that feeling. Highs and lows. Highs and lows. In a matter of minutes, they were super high. Timeout called, inbound play. The rest was history. Low. Peaks and valleys. Peaks and valleys. Wow. What a series, man. What a series. What great, yeah, you couldn't have wrote anything better than this. Really. Really. We'll see what Game 7 has in store. I hope Game 7 it's not a blowout. I hope Game 7 we get something close to what we've seen today. Both players, they're going to be scrappy. I think the refs are either probably going to be like, let them play, or they're going to be real heavy on the whistle. I think it'll be one side of the spectrum. I don't think there'll be like a perfect balance in between, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But both these teams tomorrow or Game 7, I expect them to be physical. Both of them, life's on the line. Boston's been playing with their life on the line, but it's going to be a slugfest. It's going to, but if Butler and Bam do not show up and be the best version of themselves or something close to it, that's a wrap. It's a wrap. It is. I'm sorry. But either way, I think it's a wrap. I think this is over. I think Boston's going to take this. I told them they better not let this go, man. Oh, I said all the pressure was going to be on them at home, man, because this is your Game 7, Miami. Game 6 is your Game 7, and I truly believe that. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. Let me know what you think about this one. What team did you pick before this game? Has your opinion changed after the results of this game? Tell me who you got. Would love to hear your opinion. Now, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.